An academic portfolio is something that we believe every student should have, and we're going to look at a way to create an academic portfolio for yourself. So today, if you will navigate to your Google Drive, I think it's a good idea for us to make a folder to keep our academic portfolio info in. So I'm going to click New and create a new folder, and I'm going to call it Academic Portfolio. I'm going to create that. I want it to be something that I can easily access, so I'm going to right-click on that folder and add a star to that. And now, anytime I open my Google Drive, I can go to this starred over on the left. And here's my academic portfolio folder. I'm going to open that up, and we're going to create a folder using the new version of Google Sites. So I'm going to, in my academic portfolio folder, click on New, go down to More, and choose Google Sites. When you are creating this academic portfolio, be sure and think about the fact that it is sort of like your school resume, and you want to keep it professional looking. You're going to first title your site, and we're just going to call it Academic Portfolio, and then your last name. I'm going to hit enter. On my first page, I would probably want to title that About Me. It's going to be your home page. If you go on the right side of your screen, you'll see Insert, you'll see Pages, and I'm going to go to Pages. I'm going to add a page, and I'm going to call this, if I'm a 6th grader, I'm going to call this 6th grade, and I'm going to say Done. And then under 6th grade, I want to add a subpage for every one of my classes. So I'm going to do Create Subpage, and I'm going to call the first one Math. I'm going to click here on 6th grade again, create another subpage, and I'm going to call that ELA. I'm going to make another subpage for Social Studies. So I've got several pages. You'll want to create one for each of your classes. Now, I'm going to go here to this home page. I'm going to click on these 3 dots, and I'm going to rename that page because I called that About Me on the page. I'm going to rename over here to About Me. All right, several things I want you to notice. You can see that your navigation bar is here at the top. That's where it by default puts it. And you can go to this little drop down and see the subpages. If you put your mouse over this little bar at the top, you'll see this settings gear. That will give you the option to change your navigation to a side navigation so that you can click here and you can see your navigation on the side instead of at the top. Another thing that you want to be aware of, if you'll look at the top, you see a little eyeball icon, and that's a preview, and I'm going to click on that to see how my site is looking so far. At the bottom right, you'll notice that this is the view when I'm looking at a computer screen. This will show me what the view looks like if I'm looking at my site on a tablet, and this is the view that I will be looking at if someone's looking at it on their phone. So just so you can see what that's going to look like, I'm going to exit out of that preview. Notice that on the About Me page, you'd want to go in and tell a little bit about yourself. Remember that this is someone's first impression of you, so you want to make sure that you use complete sentences, that you capitalize, put periods in the end of your sentence. So just tell a little bit about yourself. You can do that two ways. You can go over here to the right and click on Insert, and you can click Text Box here, or you can double click and get the same menu here. So I'm going to click on that text box, and I'm going to say I am a 6th grade student at in Granbury ISD at, and you can put whichever middle school you attend. You might tell something about your hobbies. You might tell what your favorite class is, things like that. So you can see that if you go here to this little color palette, you can decide if you're going to have different emphasis here with colors. Another thing you can do is make your text box cover only part of this, and maybe you want to put a picture of yourself over here. You can insert an image, and maybe you have a picture of yourself in your Google Drive. So I'm going to look for a picture that I might have in my Google Drive, and I have a folder here of pictures. I'm just going to choose one of those, and I'm going to choose this picture and put it in here. Again, you can resize that. Once you resize it, you'll see this little button here to uncrop it, because sometimes when you resize it, it crops the picture. If you want to crop it, you can do this. If you decide you don't want the picture, you can delete it. I've got my text highlighted now. I can choose whether I want it to be normal text, whether I want it to be a title, a heading, a subheading, depending on what size you want your text. You can also go here and align it different ways. You can also link things to that text. So that's just a little preview of some of the things you can do. You can one other thing that you need to know, on one of your subpages, maybe I want to go in here to my ELA page, and maybe I would like to put a piece of my work in here. If you double click on this and choose from Drive, you will find all of your folders. So maybe I'm going to open my demo folder, and perhaps this is a little piece of work I've written about Benjamin Franklin. I'm going to select that and click Insert, and it will put my Google Doc on this page. So once you have your work on there, it automatically saves the changes that you've made, but those changes are not reflected until you click Publish. The first time you click Publish, you have some choices to make. We're going to fix it so that anyone on the web, because you may want to show that to your parents, your grandparents, or someone that doesn't have a Granbury ISD account. So you're going to choose a site location, and I'm going to call mine Academic Portfolio and my last name. I'm going to also check this box that says request public search engines to not display my site. We want to be able to just send this link to someone but not have them be able to search it. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click Publish. Once it's published, one of my choices under this drop down is View Published Site. So I'm going to click on that to see what my portfolio is looking like. I'm going to go to the About Me page, and here's the picture and the text that I put in. If I'm going to make changes to this, I'm going to close this. Whenever you want to make changes, I can go in here and I can maybe add another subpage under 6th grade. I'm going to add a subpage, and I'm going to call that Science. Now, I've added the science page and it's saved my changes, but if I go here to view published site, you will see that my science page is not showing up. That is because I haven't yet published. Since I added that science page, I haven't republished it. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to click publish, and now if I go here and view my published site, my science page shows up. So remember that you can work on your site and the changes are automatically saved just as they are in all of our Google tools, but they are not reflected in your published site until you republish. So some of the things that you might want to be aware of, if you want to change the look of your portfolio, you can go here to themes. There are not a lot of choices, but there are some choices, some changes that you can make. So I'm going to go back here to the About Me page, and I'm going to choose this theme, and maybe I want it to be green. Maybe I want it to be purple, blue. So look at some of those, and then you can also change the font. It will change it on the whole site. So pick out something that you feel like would be good, something that's easy to read. You can take this picture and move it up here to the header part of your site. So there are some options available to you, but be sure that you keep it professional looking, and be sure that once you make your changes, you republish every time so that your changes will be reflected in your site. Another thing that you might want to do, if you have a portfolio that you've done in the past and you use the old version of Google Sites, in your Google Drive, if you go to this little icon over here that's called Google Apps, Sites is one of your choices. If you navigate to your old Google site, this will bring up a list of ones you've done. I'm going to open this academic portfolio, and I'm going to go up here into the URL, to the address bar, and I'm going to highlight this URL, and I'm going to copy that. Let's say that I have put lots of info on this from the year before, and I want to put a link to that on my new site. I might put some text over here that says, click here to view my academic portfolio from 2016-2017 school year. So I'm going to highlight all of this, and here's a little link button. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to paste my link right here. Click apply. Now I'm going to publish that. I want to view my published site. I'm going to click here on this link, and sure enough, it takes me to my old academic portfolio. The other thing that I feel is important for you to know, if you are going to put work like I did on my ELA page, if you're going to put something from your Google Drive there, you need to make sure that whatever document or sheet or form that you put on here has been shared. So I'm going to look here in my Google Drive at this document, this Benjamin Franklin document, and it was in this folder. And here's the document, and you can see I'm going to go to my share button and advanced, and mine is so that anyone at Granbury ISD who has the link can view it. So if anyone else that didn't have a Granbury ISD login looked at this page on my portfolio, what they're going to see is a box here that says you do not have permission to view this item. So I would want to go in here and I'd want to change this so that anyone with the link can view it. So make sure that any work that you put on your site you have shared so that anyone with the link can view it.
Your portfolio is not a place to store all of your work. It's a place to highlight your best work.
The other thing that I want to share with you is if you are wanting to go back, you've closed out your portfolio and you want to go back and work on that, you're going to go back to this academic portfolio folder. And here is your Google site, and if you double click on that, then you can go in and make changes. And don't forget, those changes are saved, but you have to republish. So good luck working on this academic portfolio.